The late founder of that mercenary group, he said, I'm interested mostly rapists and killers who have either done or facing minimum of 15 years and more. Those criminals were trained and they were tasked, go to Ukraine and do whatever you want. Go to Ukraine and do whatever you want. And what does a rapist and a killer does the best and wants to do the best? They raped, killed and looted. Raped, killed and looted. Most of them are dead now. Some of them came back to Russia and now they have a clean slate. So they take them to work in Russian police. They are free people and they have a clean slate. A person who killed more than one person and was killing Ukrainians for a minimum of 6 months, they gave him a free slate. Because you killed enough Ukrainians, now you are an innocent person in the eyes of Russian law. Russian law should be an oxymoron. This year they had, I'm telling you, don't take any of our words, just have a look online. They word it this way: Russian government had simplified employment for 14-year-olds. They call it simplification. We call it a manual labor of underage, and there is no future for a 14-year-old after he goes to work on a factory in Russia. But for Russians, it doesn't matter, because people do not matter. Can you imagine how much a life of a Ukrainian child matters for Russians if even their own people don't matter? Why do they need that law? Because so many had run away to Georgia, ironically the same country that Russia attacks. Can you imagine receiving a refugee from a country that attacked you? Hi, we were attacking you in 2008, can you help us out? We took 20% of your land, but we need help now. This is a reality, this is not an exaggeration. This is what Russia creates. Chaos, uncertainty, 40 million of Ukrainian people. All their plans for future and present were put on hold on the 24th of February last year. And many of them are still on hold. And many of them are dead. And this is why every single rally we take this time to remember every single Ukrainian soldier who died in this war defending freedom and future of this country. And also every single child, woman and a civilian who had been killed, innocent people being killed just because they live in Ukraine and they were born in Ukraine. This is the only reason why they died. That bomb fell on their house. We have one of our speakers, the English version of his name is Eugene, Yevgen. His mom got killed by a bomb in Mariupol. And this is the people that we always take time to remember with a minute of silence. Thank you. Слава Україні! Україна! Україна. Україна. І нашим героям тричі. And those people that we talk about, especially the soldiers, the bravest and the strongest of them, we know them as Azov-style defenders. These are the people that they withstood 80-day siege from as people refer it to the second largest and the strongest army in the world. We don't see that this way, and you can see why. After 599 days, they can bomb civilians. They are very good at bombing civilians, but against an army, a well-equipped army, an army who has rotation, which Russian army says they don't need rotation. Please have a look online what will happen with a soldier if he is not rotated. Some Russian soldiers, they've been not rotated at all for up to a year, between 6 months and a year. What faces them is insanity. You can have a look at symptoms that they're gonna get. These people will never be normal. This is what happens when they don't care about the people. Just have a look online. It's called army rotation. Golden hour. If you're injured on the front line, the first hour after you get injured, those who've been in the army, they know it. The first hour after you've been injured is the most important for you to survive. For you to survive. In Russia, in many cases, it doesn't exist because they don't care. They can have another mobilization, they have big reserves, and they, from last month, please, I urge you, don't take our word for it. Just have a look online. They stopped using word mobilized, they use the word volunteered. Even if you sign a contract, you're a volunteer. You're a volunteer to become an organ donor or a dead person or nothing, because you get obliterated by a rocket that falls on you. So you're a volunteer. Putin says that, all their media says that. We have so many, 130, 150, they give all different numbers. We have hundreds of thousands of volunteers. They call them volunteers. I wonder, how do they call those who ran away from mobilization last year to Georgia? They volunteered not to be part of it. They volunteered to stay alive. And this is what is happening. People who are afraid of Putin or support, many Russians support Putin. I see it online many times. There is this guy who plays accordion, his name is Akkordich. If any Ukrainian, please have a look online. Hundreds and hundreds of Russians are on that roulette, video roulette. They speak to them, he speaks to them. He sings any song but with Ukrainian lyrics, how Ukraine is winning the war. And you can see their reaction. They are not government official, they are just common Russians. And 99% of them hate Ukrainian gods. We started hating Russians when they started killing us. Our parents and grandparents, they were just intimidated and oppressed by them. But there was no hate. My Ukrainian family and lots of others, we watched their movies, and we let lots of things slide for many, many years. We let it slide. When the Crimea got annexed, many Ukrainians were saying, maybe this will be enough and they will stop. So the same people who tell us, maybe give them some land and they will stop. There's nothing enough for Russia. What do Russian generals say about Ukraine? It's either will be ours or it will be rubble. It will be ours or rubble. Nation who loves and takes pleasure and passion in war and destruction. Because Russia is a terrorist state.
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 Russia is a terrorist state. States!
Stop Russia, stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia, stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia, stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Tribunal for Russian war criminals!
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 Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
We're gonna listen to some amazing, beautiful Ukrainian music, and we're gonna continue. Thank you.
Друже, я тут буду стояти, як спеціалістиня. Толпа.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть ворогам!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Героям України тричі!
Слава, слава, слава!